Hello and welcome guys to another cast by yours truly, Big STD. This is going to be a Middling Mondays cast, and if you guys aren't familiar with Middling Mondays, we're looking at not new players who've been around for a good while, but they've not quite, for whatever reason, reached that Division A Elite League material yet. I'm going to be analysing their playstyle and seeing what happens in their game and how possibly they could do a little bit better. So today we've got that classic matchup that I feel like there must be thousands of this matchup on YouTube. It's everywhere. Chaos Lord rocks by Pidor, and TheCrydd rocking the Force Commander. Not seeing anything too unusual yet. Actually we are seeing something unusual. Rather than going for the early second scout, TheCrydd is opted to just get one scout and power node it straight away. Now I'll be interested. Why has he got his scouts capping on the other side of the VP? That's a bit unusual. Obviously, if they're on the other side, they can shoot stuff running at them. Weird. So he's actually dropping 2 gens right away. So this suggests to me that TheCrydd is going for Devastators really quickly, along with probably some Force Commander upgrades, probably some fast shotguns as well. I don't know if he knew that Pidor was going as the Chaos Lord. That might have impacted his decision. He might not like scouts against the Chaos Lord. He might like to get Devastators out quickly. But that's what we know, right? So Pidor's doing fine. He's got all of this side of the map. So what I'd do straight away is Pidor now. Instantly, I would just node this PowerPoint. Then you don't have to worry about it. You can forget about it for a while. Especially because he's against Space Marines. They can't destroy power nodes very quickly. If it was the other way around, you might be hesitant as a Space Marine player to get a power node because a squad of heretics can take them out quite quickly. But obviously Space Marines can't. Now I'm not really sure about this engagement. I would have liked both of the heretics to wait until they were nearby and then gone in together. But it seems to be working out fine, to be fair. He's overwhelmed the Space Marines and they're going to have to pull out. This is when not having that extra scout really is impactful, because had he got the other scout, TheCrydd, this would already be decapped, this would be decapped, and because Pidor took so long to node this would also be decapped, which obviously they couldn't do if it was noded. It'd take too long. But it works out for Pidor anyway, because he's only fighting one scout, and I don't think he realised that. It'd be pretty hard to tell. And that was actually a really, really good start for him. He only bled 5 heretic models, and he's got complete map control pretty much. He is seeding a few VPs, but you know, that's not really too big of a deal. It's quite easy to hold a double cap on this map. It's super hard for your opponent to get a triple cap. So it's one of the maps where VPs definitely matter less. I'm not sure why Pidor isn't dropping down any gens yet. Is he going for fast raptors? He's obviously chose to go for 2 contested power nodes. So that's actually fine. If he wants to go for raptors, he'll get that optimally. Okay, no. He's going for havocs. Interesting. I would probably have not got this power node and just got some more gens in that case, but it doesn't really matter. I would definitely drop a gen as soon as possible now, given that you're going for a havocs. Oh, and he's got the AC as well. Right, that's fair enough. That's fine. Now, TheCrydd is committing pretty hard here for a gen bash, but it's actually pretty alright because Pidor doesn't even have any gens yet. Though honestly, he should probably go for a counter bash, because at this point, he's given back the piece of map that he took off of TheCrydd, and now he's out of position, so he's going to lose his power farm. He's probably just going to get it decapped. So I would know that that's going to happen, and there's not really much I can do about it. Oh, TheCrydd's backing off. It seems he really wants to win the fight. I don't think he needs to do that. He should really have just decapped it, I think. Because then that delays his gens for ages when he has to recap it and then node it before he can drop gens. But TheCrydd's really confident. He knows he can win this fight. He's got the power sword. And the Tax, meanwhile, seeing this power node, they want to go over there and bash it. So fair enough. Oh, but he really got caught out with the scouts there. Is he going to wipe them? No, he doesn't. Okay, that was pretty close. These heretics are in a really dubious position. Possibly saved by a kill the week. Are you going to use it? Oh my god, that was cutting it close. one more swing from the Force Commander, that would have been a dead tick squad. Unfortunately, the ASM have already used 2 jumps. They're going to wipe. They're going to wipe. Wow. Sloppy, sloppy players from the Crid there. That was really sloppy. He's seen 2 Aspiring Champion Heretics running in. I mean, he's just playing it too aggressive as a Space Marine. You don't want to be... Not in Tier 1, unless you've got a giant advantage. You shouldn't really be in a position where you're actually losing models in your fights. If you have to take a fight where there's a pretty high chance that you're going to lose models, you better get a good return from that fight, otherwise you should not be taking it. So unless you're going to get like a full gem farm bash on the node and triple generators, don't take that fight as Space Marines. I would have just decapped that, ratted around with the scouts, ran them off, ASM and Force Commander get a bit of bleed on, and then just jump the ASM out, no model losses, get out of there. So this, I think, still leaves Pidor in a pretty good situation. Unfortunately, Pidor did forget about the tax, which is pretty bad. So now he's going to lose his generator. It looks like the AC ticks will probably get there in time before the power node goes down. But yeah, he's just really far behind now on power. And that wasn't really necessary. He obviously should have remembered. They obviously were used to destroy this power node because Space Marine can't kill the nodes fast. And he did kill the node fast. So it must have been the Tac Flamers. Now, because he wiped the ASM squad, he's still in this. If he didn't wipe that ASM squad, I think at this point, Pidor would have lost the game. Pretty much. Unless he made like a really good comeback. Because just think if the Crid was 450 rec and 50 power up here. Mate, he'd be close to getting a Razorback out right now. Well, not getting it out, but he'd be buying the Razorback. He would be buying the Razorback right now. So, you know, the Razorback's coming out, and Pidor doesn't even have his Tier 2 tech started. He's going to lose the game. But he did wipe the ASM, so he's still in this. And the Crid is now floating. This is a really interesting build from the Crid. I don't really like it. It's so light on troops, and it's just going to be problematic, I think, in Tier 2 when it comes to map control. Even in Tier 1, he could have had so much more map control pressure, and it is worth it. You're only paying, like, what are these scouts, maybe 9 pop or something, and you're constantly decapping these rec points. It's definitely worth it. He did get a few power upgrades, which is obviously why he wanted to get these double gens down ASAP, but not a lot, honestly. If you're going to go for double gens ASAP and not even pay for the, you know, avoid going for Devastators, because typically you'd go 2 gens if you want Devs out ASAP. If you go for 2 gens, you actually delay the time at which your ASM is going to come out. So therefore, if you go for 2 gens with ASM, typically you would assume there's going to be a lot of power expenditure. And yeah, we see shotguns, we see Tac Flamer, we see the power sword. That's a bit of power expenditure, but honestly, I would expect more from that build. I don't think it's very efficient. Okay, so he's a little bit more frightened now. He's in the midst of these double Aspiring Champion Heretics, and having lost his ASM before, he's not going to risk it again. He just retreats the ASM straight out of there. I don't really know why he took that engagement. Well, I suppose he felt like it'd give him time to get another cheeky bash in, but it didn't really give him enough time here, so I don't even think he's going to get this generator. Those heretics are going to get on him. Oh, maybe not if they stop moving. There's another AC squad coming in. He shouldn't have done that. Why did he turn around to fight? He should have kept moving and retreated down this way. Oh, God. Bleeds another tactical marine. Bleeds 2 tacs. That's brutal. Another 150 requisition down the drain. Totally unnecessary. What's Crid going to get? See, at this point now, Pidor's actually just caught up with him in tech, pretty much. In fact, Pidor's getting the Blood Crusher out before Crid gets a vehicle. Is the Crid going for a dreadnought? Probably. The dreadnought's okay against Chaos, but it's really not that good. I guess it's better when you're playing as a Force Commander, because you can get the teleport with the Thunder Hammer, which will support your ASM in handling Havocs. But typically what happens when you go for a Dreadnought, you end up fighting Blood Crusher, plus Plague Marines, and then a Las Havoc, and it's just like, it's tough, because your ASM just bleed a lot more than the Chaos Forces bleed. But it's definitely possible. If you can use your ASM well, avoid bleeding, Merciless Strike obviously deals with Aspiring Champion Heretics super easily, and then Plasma Attacks can beat Zeech Marines by default. Problem is when these Zeech Marines have an Aspiring Champion, that's when they become really frightening to the Plasma Attacks. But that is a big investment. So we'll see how it works out. Obviously Pidor doesn't have any Plague Marines yet, so it's fine. He's just going to jump onto the Havocs and then get the Force Commander in there, bleed the tax with Kraken Bolts and Plasma Gun. And he should win it quite handily then, because by the time the ASM retreat, the Dreadnought's going to be in melee instead, so then it's just what you're going to do. The other thing they can do is they can try and use the Scouts to take out the Havocs if the Aspiring Champion Heretics move too far away from them. It's just another reason why Scouts are really nice. Because he's only got one, he's obviously having to commit quite hard to this fight. Now, I don't know what these ticks are doing. My god, that was a lucky damn special. Knocking over the ASM, bleeding another model, nearly wiping them out. Okay, the Blood Crusher goes down. I don't know why the Blood Crusher went down there. There was really no need for it to go down. It should have just charged away. There was only melee as AV, so, you know, very sloppy. Decatch both of the natural requisition points for the Crid. Did he get any gens? No, he didn't get any gens. And he lost his Blood Crusher, so really that push didn't help him at all. He'd have been better moving back and just, you know, capping this wreck point and holding the mid and fighting it properly and not losing the Blood Crusher for no reason. So we see the Plague Marines out now, so you've got a pretty good core to deal with the Dreadnought. I do hope that there is going to be a las cannon, because I do think an autocannon will be nowhere near enough to deal with a Dreadnought. Especially when we're talking about a Dreadnought that's backed up by ASM and an FC who can potentially get teleport. Okay, so now we see the Thunderhammer and the Force Commander, so you have to expect there's going to be a teleporter pack coming out soon. That's obviously going to help him deal with any sort of AV that Pidor fields to try and kill the Dreadnought. Still hanging on to that flame attack and making very good use out of it, taking out even more gens. Nearly level 3 these flame attacks, they've done really good. Eventually, once the gens are took out and he's got to level 3, I would like to see them swap to the Plasma Gun. That's going to really punish these CSM, as well as knock down the Havocs very quickly as well. Really light build from the Crid, he's just not getting a lot of units. I'd honestly like to see him drop pod down more attacks now. He's only got the one Scout, at least then he can use the Scout constantly to cap, and he can use the 2 attacks to pressure. We're just seeing the Havocs staying by default at the moment, so there's not really much of a counter to that Dreadnought. But the Plague Marines, of course, have made the Crid quite cautious. But this has bought a lot of time for Pidor, and now he's managing to get his own Dreadnought out. I wonder what he's going to go for. I would imagine he'll probably get a K-Dread. It's just so risky otherwise when you know that you're against a Force Commander and ASM. They can easily jump on the Tzeentch Dread and take it out. Flame attacks again, getting huge value, man. Really good use of these flame attacks. Nearly level 3 now. And no upgrade yet, he probably wants to get it right to the front lines before he upgrades it. Might not even have enough money. No, he doesn't. So, Plague Marine's taking pot shots at the Dreadnought. Dreadnought's already level 2. Holy shit. I guess the Dreadnought did pretty much all the damage to the Blood Crusher, so he got all the XP himself. That's really nice, actually. Okay. A lot of red for Pidor. I'd like to see, yeah, he is going for Khorne Dread. That's nice. I was going to say, if we get a nice influential engagement soon, I'd like to see a Bloodlust pop down, and then use that victorious engagement to take out the Dreadnought. I'm not sure now that he's got a Khorne Dread, he needs to keep these Havocs with a heavy bolter. Just get a las cannon to kill this fucking Dreadnought, man. Once the Dreadnought's gone, he's in a great position, and you can use the Khorne Dread to counter-initiate the Force Commander or the ASM. The Force Commander's actually opted for the Iron Halo. Interesting. So the only thing that can counter the Havocs is the ASM, and that means he'll have to chase the Plague Marines with a Force Commander, which does not put him in a great situation. Right, I think you should be focusing on the ASM or the Force Commander, not attacking the Dreadnought. The Dreadnought just has too much HP, it's not a good use of his time. ASM, for some reason, jump on the CSM. That doesn't make any sense. What the hell, Crid? He obviously should have jumped on the Havocs and Plague Marines who are blobbed together. Now he's just in an awful spot. This is a great engagement for the Crid. He uses Slaughter on his CSM, which makes them really good in melee. They're handling the ASM along with the Chaos Lord quite easily. The Dreadnought goes down, he didn't even need a las cannon, and the Force Commander's done jack shit with all these upgrades because he's just got suppressed. I don't know what the hell the Crydd was playing at there. Meanwhile, his Tactical Marines with Flamers got caught out over here by the Heretics and had to get forced off. Just poor plays, really. And now, Pidor's going for Siege Marines. I really like this pick. It's great against everything he's got. Siege Marines are just brilliant against Space Marines. That's how it is. And the Crydd is actually opting to buy another Dreadnought. This just puts Pidor in an amazing position now. He needs to replace his gens as soon as possible. Siege Marines are going to intercept the attacks and they'll handle them very, very, very easily. And now Pidor's going for a Gem Bash, and I really struggled to see how the hell this isn't over at this point. I guess if the Crydd has a really good engagement next time, and he somehow manages to keep his Dreadnought alive while wiping a few of the squads of Pidor, particularly killing the Dreadnought, then he would be in a decent spot. I'd really like to see the Crydd drop down another tactical Space Marine squad. Just give it a missile launcher. And from Pidor, knowing that the opponent is going to try and get AV to kill your Dreadnought, I'd go for Bloodletters. Then the combination of Bloodletters and the K-Dread can really protect your Havoc, who denies the Force Commander who's not gone for Teleporter Pack, as well as the ASM. And then after you've done that, if they get AV, you can just teleport the Bloodletters on their AV. So the Crydd's opted for the Devastator, which is presumably going to be a las cannon. Okay, now we're seeing a las dread, not a las dread, a las cannon upgrade coming for the Havocs to counter the Dread, but it's in the middle of combat, which is a bit weird. And unfortunately, it means now that the Force Commander has got into melee, which is not an ideal situation. Actually does manage to get a las cannon shot off, as well as Plague Marine shots, but the Space Marine Devastator is still a heavy bolter. Is he going to wipe the ASM? Oh my god, he wipes the ASM as well. The Dreadnought should be safe. It's a Khorne Dreadnought, it won't take lots of melee damage. It's got that 40% melee resist. But the Havoc got wiped out. That's fine, just replace it. It's not a problem. Just replace that shit. We've got big money going on here from both players, especially Pidor. Just replace the last Havoc. Shit, you could even go for double Plague Marines. That'd be an option as well. You could totally go for double Plague Marines. And then get some nice anti-melee upgrades on your Chaos Lord. So you win the ranged fight with the double Plague Marines and the Siege Marines, and then you get like the Blood Maul, so when he runs into melee, you just fuck him up with your Khorne Dread and your Chaos Lord. That'd be a cool option as well. The Crydd just doesn't have the repair support to handle repairing the Dread constantly against double Plague Marines. Now, the Dreadnought is definitely an option. I considered it myself, but I just think it's a lot more risky. Plague Marines you basically can never wipe. They're one of the hardest units in the entire game to wipe. Dreadnoughts aren't like that at all. One Dreadnought's always nice because it skews the opponent's composition to get AV, but getting two of them just seems a bit inefficient. They're a lot easier to handle. You know, these tacks can easily swap to missile launchers. He can easily drop in another tack. He's just seen heavy bolter devastators. He knows they can obviously just get a las cannon. So I don't like this play. Wow, the Crydd has seen how well those heavy bolter devs did in that last engagement, and so he's gonna keep them, and he's gonna get another devastator squad to give the las cannon. I like it. I like it a lot. And then drop in some tacks and give them missile launcher. You're gonna have shitloads of AV. 2 missile launchers and a las cannon plus your own Dreadnought, you're sorted. And it's not like Pidor's going to be able to disrupt that range composition because he hasn't opted to go for Bloodletters. I think this Dreadnought play is very questionable. He's hard committing to AV in the Dreadnought. Like, he's just paid 150 power for AV to kill a single Dreadnought, and it's like, I don't know, man. Is this Dreadnought really that threatening? I don't think it is. If you got a Las Havoc and you had it defensively, you'd be sorted. The only reason it went awry in that last engagement is because the Havoc upgraded from Heavy Bolter to Las Havoc in the middle of the fight, so you weren't able to snare the Dreadnought and get a load of damage whilst it was coming in. Alright, the Khorne Dreadnought's leading the charge, but it's walking into a Las Cannon, which is never ideal. Should probably activate Blood Rage. He uses Malignant Blindness, but it's too late because units are already shooting at the Dreadnought, so they have sight on it. The Dreadnought has now took over, about 60% of its health has been lost. Oh, what's he doing, man? Use Blood Rage! Use Blood Rage! What's he doing? Where's the Blood Rage? Get your damage resistance, what the fuck? Pidor, no! Why did he not use Blood Rage? I don't understand. Oh man. So he obviously should have used Malignant Blindness way before he started the engagement. Using Malignant Blindness after the engagement has already started is pointless, because once a unit is shooting at another unit, it has sight on that unit every time it shoots at it. The bullets give him sight. So you need to use Malignant Blindness first, and then you can get in their face, and suddenly, oh shit, there's a Khorne Dread there. Oh fuck, he's already onto your las cannon. It's too late. That would have obviously secured him the win there very easily. But that fuck up was vital. Now he's lost the Khorne Dreadnought, and the Tzeentch Dread's nice. He obviously took out the enemy Dreadnought with it, but the thing is, this motherfucker's 150 power investment that doesn't do a whole lot against enemy melee. It's got no melee resist, it's only got a mediocre melee attack, and its ranged attack is frankly pitiful against infantry. So, it's not that good. That's why I think double Plague Marines, honestly, would have been better. Okay, finally we see more attacks drop podding in. They drop pod in frankly a terrible position though. I wonder if he's going to go for Stern Guard or Plasma Gun. Or even Missile Launcher to kill the Dreadnought. I probably want Stern Guard and then just give these guys a Missile Launcher if you feel it necessary. It's probably not even necessary against the Tzeentch Dread, like it's not really that big of a deal, is it? Just ignore it, it doesn't do that much in combat. I would like to see some Chaos upgrades. Okay, yeah, they're coming. Some Chaos Lord upgrades. Lightning Claws is an option. It makes sense because at this point... Wait, when did the ASM die? I don't know when the ASM died. But yeah, at this point, there's no more melee other than the FC, so it makes sense to go for the Lightning Claws, which have a lot better DPS against the enemy ranged units. A weird sacrifice of the Chaos Lord there. I don't really understand what the point of that was. Obviously, the Tzeentch Marines should just be killing this last cannon right now. He kills the Heavy Bolter, that's fine. Whoa, using Blood Sacrifice on the AC, not the best idea, but I guess it works. Force Commander is getting huge value, yep. Smash him in the face of the Dreadnought, that's a good idea. Heretics wipe. Very close to wiping the las cannon. Oh shit, he's gone double Plasma Gun. He's got a level 4 Plasma Gun and a level 1 Plasma Gun. That's going to be vicious. Okay, well that gives TheCrydd massive superiority in the ranged fights, and honestly I was swapped to the Sacred Standard to just really stamp out that ranged superiority as well. So let's think, what should Pidor get to counter that ranged superiority? Honestly, I think you should just buy a Havoc. He'd have to... TheCrydd would have to either get the Teleporter pack or another squad of ASM, and either way is fine, because you've got the CL, you've got a Khorne Dreadnought. No, he doesn't have a Khorne Dreadnought. Fuck, he's only got a Tzeentch Dreadnought. Okay, maybe don't do that then, because it would be counter-initiated fairly easily. What's he going for here? He's going for the tanky melee armor. I guess that's fine. Yeah. That's okay. I don't know if the Icon of Khorne's worth it in this instance. I think the Dark Halo is better, because you get the energy back every hit with the Harness of Rage. That's basically as good as the Icon of Khorne in terms of regen, but then the Icon of... the Dark Halo. The Dark Halo then gives you the 500 extra HP, which is more because it's 130 now, he's got extra energy. So I think the Dark Halo would be better there. Nice little engagement. I think the Tzeentch Marines are getting a little bit too giddy. Yeah, they just got suppressed by their own Tzeentch Dreadnought missiles. Chaos Lord is kicking the shit out of the Force Commander though. The Force Commander can't handle that. Yeah, Tzeentch Marines are getting way too aggressive. They're just walking into the Force Commander because they really want to kill some tax. I do like the Tzeentch Dreadnought play. He's doing it quite well. Another Plague Marine is out. Unfortunately, he's really committed very deep with the Tzeentch Dread. I think he's seen the Dreadnought a little bit too late. But this is the problem when you try and commit with a melee Dread against a Tzeentch one. As soon as it doesn't favour you, you're in a shit position. He says using the Calm Worship to boost his speed. That's it, force melee. Just force melee on this thing now. Force melee, keep moving your Plague Marines. Come on, Pidor. I really think the Dark Halo would be doing so much better here. Oh my god, he snipes the Dreadnought. Oh, that's brutal. The Crydd has lost so many Dreadnoughts. And he's going to keep his T-Dread alive as well. Oh my god, this is brutal. Look at the amount of red from both these guys. It's quite obvious that they should be using globals a lot more often. Especially with the Force Commander, there's no excuse. Just pop down for the Emperor every time that you engage with your Tactical Marines with the Plasma Gun. Just get extra damage, it's great. Now you can see the relative lack of effectiveness from this Tzeentch Shred against infantry. It's really not great. I don't think its bolt is even firing and it really relies on that. I don't know how he just lost his heretics there. Must have gone into a coma. Oh my god, retreat your Plague Marines! What are you doing? What is he doing? Eh! What the fuck, Pidor? What the fuck was that? I mean, man can ask for advice, but fuck me. Why are you fighting a Force Commander with a Power Fist with your Tzeentch Dread, and why are you sacrificing your final Plague Marine to get a squad of Bloodletters that don't appear because the entire squad died? Like, that was just weird. Did he not notice that he swapped the Power Fist? Probably not. Now he gets Bloodletters. Okay. Well, honestly, this is crazy. And there is now a third squad of Tactical Marines as well. Wow. Are these guys going to get Plasma Guns as well, just for shits and giggles? I don't know. Maybe they will. Direct hit from the last cannon of the Chaos Lord. Oh my god, he's taking so much damage. Plasma Guns hitting him. And then we've got default heretics running into triple tax. I'm afraid that's not going to do much when those tax are level 4. Chaos Lord gets took out by the Power Fist. Battlecry goes down. I wouldn't be surprised if these heretics die in retreat just from the sheer amount of ranged DPS coming out right now. And it looks like Pidor's throwing it. Because even if he uses the Bloodlet as well with worship support, the taxers can split up and shoot down the heretics to force them off. And then the Bloodletters on their own are just going to get shot to pieces. Honestly, there was just a whole lot of micro fuck-ups here. I can't even recollect one major mistake. Though I think if there was a major mistake in this game, it would be getting that second Dreadnought. He has gone for triple tax with Plasma. I love it. It's just your typical Space Marine air move blob. But even Bloodletters can't stop that. Certainly not when there's a Force Commander nearby. And then he goes tier 3 just for good measures. With 999 red. Brilliant. Again, oh man, he uses Malignant Blindness after he lets the enemy shoot at him. You've got to use it earlier, man. Commit to that global. Oh shit, look at those Tzeentch Marines though. God, Plasma Attacks and Tzeentch Marines just do so much damage to one another. Look at that. They just melt one another. Maybe this game isn't even over. One Plasma Attack goes down. There's not a lot of VPs though. He's got the Havoc and he's forced off the Force Commander. Okay, he's actually going to cap the point. He might have this. Does he have time? Oh no, he's not going to have time! Oh shit, because of the decap over here? No, he doesn't have time, it's over. Shit, man. I think Pidor actually had that then. Because the TheCrydd doesn't have enough resources to get a tier 3 unit out. Wow. Wow. Well, that was a game, guys. Yeah, I think... Obviously, there was a lot of things I mentioned there. I can't recollect all of them. A lot of ways that both the TheCrydd and Pidor could have improved this. Just a lot of sloppy mistakes, but that's not like a strategic error, so... You know your mistakes when you make them. Like, you upgrade a Las Havoc in the middle of a fight when the Dreadnought's nearly on top of your Las Havoc. That's not going to go down very well for you. Honestly, I think the double Dreadnought was just way too risky of a play. I don't think it's worth it. I know double Blood Crusher is super meta, because the idea is, well, for every one piece of AV that my opponent gets, I'll get a Blood Crusher. And you can't kill them all then, and just tie up all your AV. And that's true, and it kind of works, because Blood Crushers are fast. And they heal on the field a lot quicker. You can heal them all up simultaneously with one worship. And they've got the charge to get out of bad situations. Dreadnoughts aren't like that, and they cost a lot more. I just think it was such an unnecessarily risky play, and you already had ranged dominance with the Tzeentch Marines. Just get anti-melee on your Chaos Lord, double down on that ranged dominance, and beat the Space Marine from afar. But yeah, that was a pretty cool game. It ended up being super close. Very unlucky, really. Honestly, Pidor was about to win this if he had another 50 VPs. Not even that, like 10 more VPs, he'd win it. Crazy stuff, crazy stuff. Cool. That's Middling Mondays, guys. If any of you guys want me to cast some of your replays, see what mistakes you made, see if there's any tips that I can point out, anything crazy going on in your strategies, send them my way. Hit me up in the Discord, drop me the replays there, and I'll do it for you. Thanks for listening. Torpid out.